So at this point, potentially millions of people are expected to be dealing with layoffs in the next several months as we embark on a potential recession. Now, the scale of the recession that we may face, according to economists, can be widely varied, but most economists, more than 50% of economists at this point, are anticipating a recession. And with recessions come typically large-scale layoffs. The last massive recession that we saw back in 2008, we saw millions of people being laid off from their jobs. Also, this past weekend, we experienced a massive EBT, electronic benefits transfer, and SNAP, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program shutdown. There was a massive outage for the SNAP and EBT benefits program. People who rely on food stamps to feed their families were finding themselves in grocery stores unable to check out and having to walk away potentially hungry or starving, unable to fill their pantries at home and their groceries, their refrigerator shelves, as they were unable to pay for the groceries in their grocery cart, whether it was Publix, Walmart, Costco, Sam's Club, BJ's Wholesale Club. Families were literally not only embarrassed, but left hungry. And, for the families who didn't have cash or credit cards or available cash balance or available credit on their credit cards, they had to walk away from their grocery carts, leaving all the food in the grocery cart and having to walk away empty-handed. And this could actually, who knows what happened with the food that was left over in the cart after potentially millions of families had to walk away from their food, not able to check out because their EBT and SNAP cards, SNAP benefit cards weren't working. What happened with that food sitting in the cart? Did it sit in the cart and did it get put back on the shelves after grocery stores, or did it just sit in the cart for days on end, expiring or potentially melting if the item was frozen, or just going bad because it's not sitting in a refrigerated climate? Who knows? And maybe it sat around for 3 days and then they put it away, and now someone may go and pick up that item, purchase that item off the shelf at the grocery store, only to discover that it's now spoiled. Who knows? That's another story in and of itself. But I received so many different emails asking, hey, I found myself in this situation and, I can't continue to live my life like this. How do I generate income so that I can have the cash to have as a backup? And, one of the emails I've received said that, hey, cash would have been a nice option to be able to fall back on, but I didn't have any cash. And I was relying on the food stamps. I was relying on the EBT SNAP program in order to feed my family. And I never really thought about the fact that, hey, if this doesn't work, do I have the cash to back myself up? And so, that was one email that I got. I got a lot of different emails asking, how do I make more money? How do I generate income, passive income, active income, online business income, whatever the case is, for my family? Because, they realize that the government could just shut them down, or there could be a legitimate problem, just like we experienced, where their, EBT, SNAP benefit cards don't work for their food stamps. And I was actually going to share this information in the private group. I'm still compiling the information, but I'm actually working on sharing. There's basically, I've got a list so far of 20 jobs that do not require any type of college degree, but pay well over six figures or $100,000 per year in income, that that you could potentially land these jobs and start making $100,000 a year. Now, this would, in a lot of cases, that would help a lot of Americans, especially if you're qualifying for food stamps, SNAP, EBT. That would mean that your income was not a six-figure income, because you can't qualify for those benefits with the income that high. But if your income was $100,000 a year, 6 figures or more, chances are you wouldn't even care about EBT benefits, SNAP benefits, if you're making $100,000 a year. Now, just to give some perspective, $100,000 a year is basically roughly $8,300 a month. So, I'm not sure how you do your family budget when you go grocery store shopping, when you calculate, can you afford rent, when you calculate, can you afford your mortgage, when you calculate, hey, can I accept this job? You have to calculate, okay, what are your expenses first? And then how much is this job going to pay me? How much is gas costing? How much is it going to cost me in commuting to and from home to work, from work back to home, if you got to pick up your kids? So all these factors come into play. So when you're factoring in your budget, figure out how much money you need to just survive. And then say to yourself, okay, how much income am I taking in? Now, if you're making $100,000 a year, you can start off by putting your income at the top line. Let's just say, after tax, you take home, I don't know, $6,000 a month. If you're taking home $6,000 a month, can you survive on $6,000 a month? And if you can, also ask yourself, how much of that surplus income can you save or invest? You can, take some of that money to invest in your stockpile for your preparation. You can take some of that cash to invest in your retirement. You can take some of that residual income or excess income, surplus income, to invest in your business. Invest in yourself, invest in your family, pay off your mortgage so you can live free and clear without any debt, perhaps. So if you guys are interested in that, I'll make sure to share that information with you. At least 20 different jobs that pay more than $100,000 a year, that also do not require any form of college degree. So if you guys are interested in that, I'll definitely share that information in the group. I want to make sure that, if you're following this channel, I want to make sure to provide you guys with the resources that you need so that you're not dealing with situations like what we've experienced this past weekend. It doesn't have to be that way. It really doesn't have to be that way. Having to put food back on the grocery store shelves after being declined at the register because the EBT, SNAP benefits, food stamp program failed us. And, all it takes is a push of a button from the government to shut us down. To literally take food out of the mouths of Americans by the push of a button. And not everybody's of the same mental state. I'll just put it at that. Because if this were to happen on a wide scale for a long period of time, I would imagine seeing rioting in the streets. And that's the last thing that we would want to see in our society, is rioting in the streets as a result of food insecurity, being unable to purchase food due to a lack of income. That could be very, very scary. And, I just don't want anyone's family to have to deal with that. So drop a like if you understand what I'm talking about in this video. Also, let me know, do you want access to the 20 different jobs and positions that pay more than $100,000 a year, that do not require any type of college degree? And also let me know if $100,000 a year would be a comfortable income for you and for your family to live off of, or what income would be comfortable for you. Drop me some comments, let me know what you guys are thinking. I appreciate you guys checking out the video. Drop a like for the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys on the next one.